Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode on the Bodybuilding News Network. As always, I'm your host, Saunch. Thank you so much for stopping in and checking out the channel. In today's shorter episode, we're going to be talking about the 2022 Arnold Classic, specifically the Women's Figure International Division, and a complete breakdown of the lineup or scorecard, whatever you want to call it. So if you're interested in that and you want to support the ladies, this is a late Women's Wednesday episode, so I do apologize for that. But if you're interested in that style of content, definitely consider staying and checking out this video. If not, check out the other videos we've posted in the last week. I'm sure you'll find some entertainment and information there. But if you are still here, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and start off with the first person on the scorecard. We have from South Korea, An Da Jung. I'm sure I butchered it. Instagrams and tags, of course, are always in the description of the video if you want to check out the athlete specifically and follow them or whatever. Support them with their sponsors and things of that nature. Definitely do so. We definitely encourage that here on BNN. But overall, it's gonna be a weird episode. When I look at these ladies' physiques, just crazy, just crazy. So I'll have to behave when I'm doing my commentary here, but just absolutely phenomenal physiques. There's just so much muscle put on these figures. It's just bonkers. But I wanted to just highlight the athlete, share some information about them. The last time we saw this lady here, An Da Jung, I apologize, was at the 2021 Mr. Olympia, where she competed in the figure category, placing 7th in the world. So definitely going to be one of the favorites to do well at this show. Something you're going to notice with this division specifically, and there might be some more comparisons as we look into the other women's divisions. I'll do my best to cover all the divisions tomorrow leading into the Arnold Classic weekend. But with An and most of these competitors here, they are Olympians. An is a 3-time Olympian. She's a Korean ifbb pro. She's won the Korea Pro. And then also, like I said, a top 7 finisher at last year's Olympia. So expect to see her probably land in that first call out. I do not see her falling outside the top 6 in this lineup. Next up on the scorecard is AKA Muscle Barbie, also known as Latoya Farley. Latoya Farley. Her most recent placing was at the 2021 New York Pro, where she placed 3rd. There was another showing where she got something outside the top 10. The lighting was not great, so I wanted to use the New York Pro photos and placings, as it just makes her look a lot better with the physique. And then, you know, a top 3 placing at a tier 1 bodybuilding show, I think says a little bit more about her possibilities and potential at this year's 2022 Arnold Classic in the Women's Figure International Division. And if we look at some of the physique updates coming out of the camp here from her, looks like she's in shape, she's in condition. Something you're going to notice a lot with these ladies is they really emphasize the delt development. The way they present everything looks very, I wouldn't say top heavy, but very built in the upper body. And then they really emphasize on the separation and the conditionings in the quads. So you'll see that as somewhat of the standard for this division. But, you know, full transparency, I'm not a figure expert. So this really isn't my lane, but I wanted to do the service for these hardworking ladies, as it looks like they haven't really gotten a lot of coverage on the other media sites. So I want to do my part here on BNN to advocate for the athletes. It's, you know, one of the big things I like to do here. So Latoya Farley is the second competitor, 3rd place at last year's New York Pro. Now we look into the next one. We have Wendyfortino. Apologize if I butchered it, but she goes by Wendy Fortino on Instagram. So that makes it pretty gosh darn easy to find her, which is a big plus for me. I have to search all these athletes individually to find their Instagrams and their scorecards on NPC News Online. So big plus for me. When we look at Wendy's most recent competitive history, she placed 14th at last year's 2021 Mr. Olympia in the women's figure division. She's going to be one of those competitors that's going to be fighting to get into that first call out. I know she's hungry for it. She's going to be working hard to get there. She's also going to be doing the Boston Pro immediately after. So she's going to take, the lessons learned or the victories or whatever she gets at the Arnold Classic, and she's going to roll right into Boston and see what she can pull off against the other competitors that are also going to be doing the Boston Pro. So she's one of the lower placing Olympians in this lineup. Obviously, no disrespect to her. It's just statistics. But I think she's going to be very happy if she gets a top 6 here. She's going to be hungry for that top 6 finish. So we'll see how things line up. We are going to skip over Miss Gillen until the end, and you'll find out at the end why I do this. But next up is going to be Mrs. Zenobia. And as I pull up my notes, Nicole Zenobia Graham. She goes by Zenobia, World of Zenobia on Instagram. So it kind of threw me for a loop there. So I like your creativity, but it hurts somebody like myself where my notes are very limited. Now, with this lady, with this Olympian, the last time we saw her was at last year's Olympia. She placed within that top 6, so she's going to be a favorite to place in the top 6 here at the Arnold Classic 2022 Arnold Classic. She placed 5th place at last year's Olympia in the women's figure division. Looking over at her Instagram, as I said, World of Zenobia, phenomenal physique, great, the shoulder density, the thickness, great development, amazing legs. I mean, oh, yikes, guys. It's just amazing looking at these ladies, honestly. Boston Pro, she's also has announced that she's going to be doing the Boston Pro. So bodybuilding is alive and well in 2022. We're very excited to see these ladies get back on the stage. Everyone in the IFBB and NPC getting back on stage, showing what it's all about to be an athlete in doing some shows. So we're very excited to see Miss Graham hop on stage again and see what she has. Top 5 at the Olympia. Expect to see her probably top 5, top 6, if not better, at this year's 2022 Arnold Classic. Next up, we have Lola Montez. So I do apologize if she did make another account. I could not find it, Miss Mendez, but it did seem that the one that I did have on file was deleted. So I do apologize. I was able to get the stage photos, so you will be able to appreciate physique updates from Miss Mendez. But overall, placed 9th at last year's Olympia. A lot of Olympians, ladies and gentlemen, a lot of Olympians coming into this Arnold Classic. And it's no disrespect, no disrespect to these ladies, but you typically don't see this many Olympians from the previous year competing at the Arnold Classic. A lot of them, they're going to take that time off, try to win a smaller show, get back to the Olympia. Or especially when you look inside this top, I believe it's top 5 or top 6. Let me know down below. King, Jessica, I know all you guys are a little bit more knowledgeable on that stuff than I am. I just like to talk. But I believe it's the top 5. They get the Olympia qualifications. So they should probably take the year off and then just try to keep that momentum going, peak once a year. But, some people, maybe the ladies are a little bit different than the gentlemen, but, maybe these ladies use multiple peaks and it works better for their physiques, getting them ready for that big show, the Olympia. So we'll see. Lola Montez, 9th at last year's Olympia. Expect her to be hungry to come into the show fighting. But if you have her Instagram, please comment it below. I will tag you and I'll repost you on Instagram. So I do appreciate you, and I'll give you a shout out in the next video. So any of you, if you have that, I do appreciate it. Moving along here, I think Jessica Padilla, I remember her winning her pro card. I actually covered that NPC show on this channel, so very familiar with her name. Seeing her placing top 4 at the Olympia was, absolutely phenomenal for her Olympia debut, and then also winning her pro card the same year. Just a phenomenal athlete. She really came out of the gates firing. Smaller in stature, but not lacking in muscle at all. Just overall a phenomenal shape, phenomenal figure. Just a very impressive lady here. And then overall, just looks phenomenal. Looking forward to seeing how well she does here. Just absolutely phenomenal. But overall, amazing physique. She did not win her pro card last year. I was thinking of somebody else, but nevertheless, phenomenal physique. 4th at the Olympia, so expect to see her hungry to compete against the other boss girls, boss babies, oh, I know what I was going to say. I shouldn't say it on YouTube. But these very competitive athletes really rolling into this show. I know she's hungry to make improvements on that 4th place finish at the Olympia, and maybe she can take off a big bite from these other competitors here at the Arnold Classic. Anywho, I caught myself there, guys. I caught myself. Ladies and gentlemen. Next up, placing 6th at the 2021 Olympia, Miss Robinson Larhana Robinson. She goes by ifbbpro _Larhana on Instagram. And guys, like I said, guys and gals, she placed in the Olympia, the top 6. She's going to be another one to keep our eyes out for. Over on Instagram, a lot of content, a lot of physique updates. She looks very nimble. She almost could be a fitness competitor, if we're being honest. But looks like she's out of Texas. Overall, guys, she looks phenomenal. Again, top 6 at the Olympia. Expect her to do well. We have just 2 more athletes to talk about before we get into Miss Gillen. We have 2nd place at the 2021 Olympia. Big competitor here. Natalia.soltero is the next competitor on the scorecard, and like I said, 2nd place at the Miss Figure Olympia. She's also an Arnold Classic champion, so definitely a favorite to really battle it out this year. Maybe mix it up and turn some heads, confuse some people. Just a phenomenal physique. The way she holds herself, the way she pulls these transitions is bonkers. But since her 2020 Arnold Classic win, she's been hungry to just, repeat that and keep going, keep making improvements. She's definitely, in my opinion, one of the favorites to do absolutely phenomenal at this show. So keep your eyes out for Miss Natalia.soltero at this year's Arnold Classic in the women's figure division. Second to last, we have Bojanaifbbpro. That sounded pretty good. I'm going to go with that one. 13th at last year's Olympia on the Instagrams. She goes by, awesome hairdo. She goes by bojanaifbbpro, no spaces, no underscores. 6-time Olympian. She is an Arnold Classic US and Australia 2nd place and a top 9 Olympian. Really cool haircut. She's got like the little anime bobs on one of her Instagram posts. Anyways, phenomenal physique, great separation in the legs. Hopefully, we get to see some improvements in terms of placings at this year's Arnold Classic. 13th is going to be a tough one for her. She's going to have to really be swinging for the fences here to knock off some of these other competitors. Again, we have everything from 1st place to almost 6th place. I'm pretty sure 1st through 6th at the Olympia here at the Arnold Classic. So this is going to be an Olympia preview for the 2022 Olympia. And it's also going to be some redemption from the 2021 Olympia here at the 2022 Arnold Classic. Now, lastly, I want to talk about Sydney Gillen. This is the favorite to win the show. 5-time figure Olympia champion, Miss Gillen. Also, several-time Arnold Classic champion. Something crazy. You don't typically see this from competitors where they have such a dominant control over their division. Something that we haven't seen since the Phil Heaths of the open class, or the Jeremy Buendias of the men's physique, or even the recent Chris Bumsteads of the men's classic physique. It's amazing. She has an amazing physique. She's perfectly proportioned. She's not too overly developed in any specific area. Her transition shots are phenomenal. The flow, the poise, the finesse, the I guess the sass when they do their transitions. Totoro agrees. The sass is always good to see from these ladies. But ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be a great show. I don't want to drag the video on too long, but I wanted to do my part and put this information out for you. So if you enjoy women's physique or women's figure, if you enjoy women's figure, and you want to see a very competitive showdown and a preview to the 2022 Mr. Olympia here at the 2022 Arnold Classic starting tomorrow, March 4th, because it is already the 3rd. March 4th through the 6th in Columbus, Ohio, the Arnold Classic. You're going to want to watch this show. You're going to want to watch these ladies battle it out for the Arnold Classic title. This was another episode on the Bodybuilding News Network. I'm your host, Saunch. As always, if you guys want to check out my links in the description below, any support is appreciated, but the best way you can support this channel is liking, subscribing, and continuing the conversation in the comment sections below. Like I said, thank you so much for watching another episode on the Bodybuilding News Network. I'm your host, Saunch. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next one.